I can still feel the paper between my fingers, the ink barely dry when I signed the divorce papers. She smiled as I did it, smiled like I was just another transaction sliding across her desk. That very morning she'd been promoted to branch manager. That same evening, she handed me the divorce petition. No fight, no hesitation. I signed. Not because I agreed, but because I knew silence cuts deeper than rage. While her coworkers toasted with champagne, she called me dead weight. I wasn't supposed to hear it, but the words found me anyway, carried by the kind of laughter that always leaks from careless mouths. She laughed, too. That sound stripped me of my dignity. I left that night. I didn't pack up slowly or explain. I vanished. We'd built 10 years together, or at least I thought we had. Our first apartment. Long nights balancing bills. My overtime shifts covering the gaps while she studied for her exams. I cooked, I cleaned, I kept us steady so she could climb. When she passed her banking certification, I framed her certificate myself, hung it on the wall, proud as if it were mine. She kissed me that night and whispered, "We made it." But we was a temporary word. Once the title and money were hers, we became me. The betrayal wasn't in the divorce. People fall out of love. It was in the performance, the timing. She didn't just leave. She turned it into a celebration. The promotion and the abandonment tied together like a gift she handed herself. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I didn't even ask why. I simply disappeared. She mistook vanishing for weakness. What she never understood is that silence is a weapon sharper than any word. I started over with nothing. She kept the house, the car, the accounts, everything we'd stacked together. Fine. Let her keep the walls we built. Walls crumble. I moved 2 cities away under another name. A small apartment. Cash-only rent. Work that didn't leave trails. No social media. No forwarding address. If she looked, she'd find nothing. But I watched her quietly, patiently. Every promotion she received, I already knew before she posted it. Every gala photo, every banking award online, I cataloged them. Not out of longing, out of calculation. Because revenge isn't about striking first. It's about waiting until your absence becomes unbearable. She tried to contact me at first, texts, calls. I didn't answer. One message read, "We should talk. Settle things." Another said, "You're being childish." Then, "Stop ignoring me. You'll regret this." 200 messages stacked over 4 years. 200 echoes of desperation. I read every one. But I never replied. The silence was my reply. She remarried the bank, not another man. Work consumed her. Her coworkers became her family. She thrived in daylight. But I knew the night would come, the moment she realized she couldn't scrub me out like a balance sheet entry. My plan wasn't quick. Revenge worth savoring never is. While she built her empire inside the bank, I studied its foundations, regulations, internal audits, employee handbooks. I knew where the cracks hid, and I waited until her fingerprints covered every surface. Quietly, I opened accounts across different branches. Small deposits. Frequent transfers. Perfectly legal, but structured to raise questions if anyone cared to look. And eventually, someone would look. Her signature was required for half of them. She signed automatically, eyes on the next client, never noticing the trail I laid at her feet. I left no false evidence, just enough ambiguity to make her look careless. And in banking, careless is lethal. For years after I vanished, she finally tracked me down. A knock on my door at midnight. I opened it to find her thinner, sharper eyes burning with a cocktail of anger and desperation. "You bastard," she hissed. 200 calls. 200 messages. And nothing. I leaned against the door frame, calm as ever. "You're persistent. I'll give you that. You've ruined me." Her voice cracked. "They're auditing everything. Do you know what that means?" Of course I knew. I'd been waiting for it. "They think I approved fraudulent transfers," she spat. "They're tearing apart my career, my name." I said nothing. Silence again, the blade that cut her deeper than anything else. She broke first. Tears streaked her face. "Why, after everything we built, why destroy me?" Finally, I answered. "Because you celebrated my eraser. You laughed with strangers while I signed away 10 years of my life." "That was a joke," she whispered. "No," I said. "That was a confession." The audit spread like fire. Rumors whispered through every hallway of her bank. Clients pulled accounts. Supervisors distanced themselves. Promotions she once claimed like trophies were stripped away one by one. I never touched her money. Never stole a cent. I only lit the match of suspicion and let her arrogance supply the fuel. She called again, begged even. "Help me. Tell them it wasn't me. Please." But I'd already given her my answer years ago: silence. The last time I saw her, she wasn't the polished manager anymore. She was a woman broken under fluorescent lights, a box of belongings in her arms, escorted out of the bank she once ruled. She spotted me across the street. Our eyes met for 3 long seconds. She opened her mouth, but I turned away before sound could escape. Now, for years after her celebration, I sit in a cafe with a coffee cooling beside me. She's somewhere rebuilding, or maybe still unraveling. It doesn't matter. People ask if I regret it, if silence, patience, and precision were worth it. I think back to the night she called me dead weight. And I smile. Because she was right about one thing. I was weight. But I learned something she never did. Weight can crush. And I don't regret a single thing.